Sure. Do you want to make a start?
Yes, I will start.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining the session on product leadership, how it can lead to better business outcomes. To take the session today, we have with us Sagar Zilpe, who is a Governance, Risk and Compliance Director, Product Delivery for a government agency. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sagar. Great to have you here. Over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, all. Thanks for joining in the session. I hope this next 50 minutes adds best to the knowledge and also enlighten you on the product. Sorry, was muted accidentally. Okay, so in terms of the product management, we will see and discuss some of the insights, how this course, specifically 5Y framework, will help and teach and also navigate us and mentor for the experienced folks like me. Hello, I'm Sagar Zilpe. I'm Director for Product Delivery for the federal agency. I take care of government risk and compliance products. I also take care of emerging technology space products like Metaverse, ChatGPTs, and we have been working since a few agencies in last couple of years and months, specifically on ChatGPT for last 14 months, and we are glad that we are using those products. I'll just talk a minute or two about me to introduce before we move to the content. I've been working in the industry for last 14 years and well known for the products. I started as a developer with Cisco and have landed up with the federal agencies. And I have my own startup, and I'm much happy to say that the intention of me to get enrolled to this course of product management was to start validating, is my product making sense? And if I want to have a critic, because in your teams and from customer perspectives, you will get the feedback which is very specific to either a niche industry or a corporate environment, or which is specific to the persona, that how they perceive us, not the product really. That's what the platform I wanted, and I'm really glad that I'll be talking that through in the concurrent slides. I have a track record of delivering the products. I've been into the product designing and delivery a decade ago and have been known to follow Agile, Prince2, and Kanban sort of explored project management practices to develop the products. Yeah, we can move to the next slide. So what we're gonna review today is a 5-pointer strategy or discussion rather. We'll firstly see how we will leverage the technical expertise when we are thinking of the product enablement, even if you have the product or if you want to think of a product starting from zero phase, how and when this course can navigate, mentor you through, and also how it have developed me as in such specifically. Moving to empowering the communication, not just the way we talk and behave or articulate, but how we transform the product communication as such to develop it more strategically. Further exploring the thinking capabilities, which will bring thought leadership at place, emerging techs at place, and moving to enabling the existing resources. When we talk about resources, this can be thought through as your technology resources, technical resources, or also they can be thought through like the existing set of skills, people, and the management thing. And lastly, when we combine most of the strategies, how we can embolden them to champion the product leadership, getting different measures, may that be for a SaaS product, may that be for the physical product, is morely on the agenda. I hope this makes sense, and we are okay to start. If there are any questions or comments, even before we start, you can try to use the question and answer tab in the chat given below, and we'll try to take these questions in certain intervals of 15 to 20 minutes. I hope that makes sense. And let's start with the next slide. Leveraging the technical expertise. So while we think of multiple sets of technologies which are coming in, a product manager is expected to have understanding of the crucial new patterns which are evolving in the market. most specifically the disruptors. When we talk about importance of technical expertise for product managers, we have to understand that bring your own product program, like getting a specific product approach, a tailored approach is must needed. That's where the BYOP have made sense. I see someone have raised the hand. Smriti will definitely get back to you. Yeah. With each and every product having a unique set of features, deliveries, stakeholders, marketing, and different set of requirements, we always should expect and provide a tailored approach while designing any product. That's where the BYOP program and its emphasis on the technical expertise is always focused, given in such a way that we explore and learn. We also evaluate what are we going to need, what are we going to deliver, and what are the future challenges of a product to be thought through even before we start creating a product or planning a product. What if a product is already planned? Then creating a layout that is making sense to the product delivery is to be learned, understood. Market leading mentors who have the real world deployment will also be able to give their inputs. In my case, when I had multiple products created, the way I leveraged the mentorship was I wanted a critic, and I expected that critic to my mentor that I have a product which is created already. It's a SaaS-based product. Would you be able to give me a layout? How can I rebuild the product? Because there was a time and assumption I wanted to make my product ready for the market along with emerging technologies. Being a metaverse product in itself, we wanted to flourish and nourish in the way. And definitely BYOP product gave me a great level of tailored approach along with the mentors, where communication and feedback at each phase of the product development with my development team and also the market insight team worked out very well, where I was able to leverage the technical expertise, strategic decision-making patterns, and these were based on the marketing studies, geographical studies, product stabilization, pricing strategies, etc., which are needed even before we launch a product, even before we think to design a product. If a cost is getting disrupted, for example, you need to take a step back and think, how can I reduce the cost of a product? And if I can reduce the cost of a product, then definitely there are multiple venues and opportunities where we can compete our next to competitor or next to like product competitor in terms of price, in terms of strategy, in terms of product features. That's where once we have this ladder climbed in, which will understand the importance of being a technical expert, getting in a lot of people involved, getting in the right set of decisions evaluated at right set of time, will design your BYOP, the second quadrant, and then moving to the third quadrant of getting the communication and feedback along with the documentation prepared, which will further explore the technical expertise of yourself and your team members, and it will roll back to staying up to date with the latest technological advancement, incorporating chat GPTs, incorporating the bots, incorporating automations, and different other tools, which can be less cost effective and more improvising your customer features. To summarize this all, I'll take an example of a product manager at a software company who is responsible for developing a new mobile app. By having the technical expertise in this mobile app development, the product manager can better understand the capabilities of the platform. He or she can also identify the potential technical challenges and opportunities, and the knowledge can be used to provide guidance to the development team as to which module needs to be produced, when it needs to be developed, can it be done sequentially, or can it embed the startup lean methodology, which says failing earlier. or progressing earlier with less cost, resulting in a more efficient development process and a higher quality and high-end product, which will not only give ease to a product manager to stay up to date with the latest mobile app development technologies and trends, but will also augment the reality, which can be used to enhance the mobile apps functionality and will appeal the users with the best price and rate for the firm. With that, I'll take a pause on this topic, the first topic, and see if anyone have any questions so far. I remember there was a hand raised, but sorry, I was not able to take the question then, but happy to answer that now. I'm not sure whether the participant can unmute or would they be asking the question over the chat.
Expect them to answer, to put the question in the chat box. So.
Okay, thank you. So anyone who had raised the question or raised the hand, I would request them to put your question in the chat box, and definitely we will answer that up once we are known to it. So let's move to the second topic of ours then, empowering the communication. Product managers always are required to communicate effectively with various stakeholders. It includes developers, designers, marketers, and executives. In the BYOP program or the 5I framework, what we get to learn mostly is expected to develop a communication skill by presenting the product ideas within the stakeholders like our class, our mentors, and also a valid and unbiased feedback can be learned and earned gradually. We will definitely come to the growth ladder in product management by the end of the session. I see growth ladder in 3 different formats, and that's what we will be exploring. A growth ladder in terms of knowledge is what we are trying to explore at this point in time. And definitely there will be, in terms of compensations, we see hikes, or in terms of deployment, roles, and next level opportunities, etc. We see a lot of aggression, lot of progression in terms of the product management. And that we will definitely elaborate at the end of the call, and there will be mostly question and answer session that should make it more interesting. With that, we'll come back to empowering communication. Now, we have discussed that there are a lot of stakeholders with whom a product manager is needed to communicate, like developers, designers, marketers, or executive. In BYP program, what we get to know is what is the language that we should be using with a developer, like a BRD, a TDD sort of, which is business requirement document or technical design document, how to frame that up, what's the template, how should we present it out. Even if you are a new to product world, let's say you are switching from operations to product or project to product, well, that is not a challenge, because somewhere or the other, you may have seen this template, but not governed or updated that. In this course, we should be able to explore that up. I have written a few of the TDDs, BRDs, technical flow diagrams. What I got to learn was how my website flashings should be audited according to the standard ISO norms. Yes, we did that in the real world exercise. And there are more breakout rooms which are created for me and my classmates. And we were a batch of like a great batch. Most of them, they didn't have the technical expertise. And you know what? It was in a storyboard format, like a template of fill in the blanks sort of pattern is shared always in the class. And this fill in the blanks is filled up by the experienced set of stakeholders or a use case leveraging stakeholders, which can be utilized or seen by the time there are 6 to 7 breakout rooms. By the time the 2 breakout rooms have finished the demo, the 3rd and 4 are more mature in understanding concept. Definitely, I'll answer the question for the mechanical engineering as well as soon as we go forward. But using your technical expertise, let's say you are from mechanical side or software side or physical product side of the business. When you learn these techniques, communicating with the developer in terms of BRD, communicating with your designers in terms of Figma or hand-drawn exercise or templates or expectations. This is what the course teaches us, how we can leverage the Figmas, marvels of the world, draw and design the layman term even before we involve the developers and designers to improvise the cost. That's what the beauty of lean startup methodology replicating with 5Y framework is. Developing a clear and compelling product vision and communicating this vision effectively to your team is a great skill that each and every product manager is needed. Building a strong relationship with your customers, understanding the needs, the pain points, creating a culture of transparency and collaboration is effective part of your communication, empowering the communication, not just you talking, but letting your team share the challenges, ideas, and thoughts that they have. And that's why effective communication is more crucial for product managers. And it should be taken care that while empowering the communication, you involve developing a clear and compelling product vision. What are you trying to create? If there are any possibilities of failure, your team can educate you, give you insights based on their experiences, which is another way to empower the communication, to create a transparent culture. Lastly, when we are using a data-driven insights to communicate, the impact of your communication is much higher. As a product manager, you need to track the key performance indicator and use data to identify the areas of improvement and communicate the products, the impact of the product, and make a data-driven decision. By doing so, you can effectively communicate the product's value with all the stakeholders, may it be your customer, may it be your distributor, may it be your developer or the project team in itself. That's how we should be leveraging the communication within our product practices. I'll quickly take a pause and see if there are any questions in the chat to answer. Okay. There's a question from Sentu. I'm a polymer engineer. Can you join product management? Definitely, Sentu, you can join product management. The best use case in case of your segment is having a knowledge of the product methodology will help you get aligned more towards the product and project teams, will help you understand to get your role effectively. If you are into a documentation expert role or identification analyst expert role, or you are into specific research area, it will give you a discipline and teach you how it should be effectively communicated within different norms and life cycles of a product and project as well. We'll move, hope that answers Sentu. And if there are any follow-up questions, feel free to ask here. We'll move to Neha's question now. I'm a product manager and just switched my career into technical world. How to cope up with technology? Well, thanks for asking this question, Neha. That's a wonderful question, and 90% of the product managers have this question. When we are into a product manager role, it's obvious to be obsessive regarding to a product. And mostly we feel that I have conveyed an idea to my developer or to my development team leader. However, it's not getting the shape the way I wanted. This is where the communication needs to be improvised rather than you getting into the technical aspect fully into it. The partial technology or partial technical aspect should be there. Like if you are designing a mobile app, if you're designing an ERP, then you should have a basic understanding of how the network protocols are set up, how the network structure is set up, how the designing and development is taking part, and what are the on-premise cloud instances or the physical server instances, etc. The basic information can be gained through. In the product management certification courses, you will get the basic idea of it, and then it will empower you which technical aspect you want to drill down into or get detailed into will be the choice of your product expertise. That will help you. Do you want to explore GitHub a lot? Do you want to explore .NET or SQL a lot at a basic level, such that you should be able to create the sprints or user stories, etc., will be more feasible and better managed. I guess that's what the direction and guidance to be received from a product manager via these courses. Kartikeya's question is wonderful at this stage. Product management is different from project management? Absolutely, yes. It is different. When we think of a product management, the beauty of product management is we think on the outcomes, we think on the goals, we think about the objectives and customer requirements. That's the reason, even if you see the market, which was agile before, which was Prince to before, now it's getting more of Prince to agile. Why? Because the outcome-based activities are leveraged more. In product management, we think goal-based activities, outcome-based activities, feature-based activities. And in project management, we think of the transactional-based activities or units or incremental developments, which are specifically tied up with the waterfall approaches. That's where product management will help you to upgrade product and project management all together in a great unified version. Okay. Let's move to the next topic now. Developing the strategic thinking capabilities. One of the most important aspects, guys. When it comes to planning a product, when it comes to understanding a product, or even we can think of upgrading or updating the existing product. All the time, it's needed that a product manager have to introspect on future trends, the frameworks and concept that we're gonna use and leverage throughout the project, thinking of all the elements which are crucial for a product, which will take care of balancing the future trends and align with overall business strategy. That's much needed. Let's see what are we meaning with this. When we think of a strategic thinking, it's crucial for a product manager as it helps us to understand how the market landscape is. What if you want to launch a mobile app? I'll again go to the same example, where you already have 55 to 100 competitors in your world already. Why would you want to do that? Rather, you will pick up a geography of where the providers are less, the requirement is high, where the demand is high, but the supply is less. Try to understand from the customers from those specific region as to what can be the customized or specific feature needs from a mobile app. Then basis that, you will design a strategic plan, and that will be backed up by the data. Exposure to the frameworks and concept is needed. When you know that what you have to build and what is needed in the product, whatever you are building in, it's much needed that you understand what framework are you using to build that product. When you want to construct a house, what is the most important part of the house? The roof and the floor. But can you construct the roof at the start of the project? No. There should be a strategic framework to explain you in what sequence should the construction happen. A house over here is your product, and the way you want to build the house is your project. How you want to shape your project depends on the strategy, how you want to start the work, whether it's even before the legalities, even before you purchase the land, or after you purchase the land, then you want to fill in. This is the best example, like not just the software product, but also to the physical product. Your framework is of utmost importance. Over here in product management, the generic 5I framework, where you have an exposure to learn right from ideation to intelligently deployment, that framework is really a generic deployable format for SaaS, non-SaaS, and physical aspects. Will help you to learn how we can design a product, even if that is for the existing development or for a brand new development. And during the design phase itself, the future trends are to be taken care, which will talk about the disruptive technologies, upcoming disruptive technologies as well. Suppose a product manager notices that there's an increase in trends towards an eco-friendly product. In that case, we as product managers have to develop a product that is eco-friendly, sustainable, and appeals to the growing environmental conscious market. You may have seen a product which is a eatable spoon, eatable dish, which would have sounded funny if we would have said this 10 years ago. But now, because of the rising issues and the remediation and rehab of the plastic, how to recycle them, the degradable products are being thought through. More effective and consumable market strategies have been thought through by entire teams now. When we think of all these measures, aligning this entire thought through with the product strategy and overall business strategy goals and measures, that's needed to be identified by the product manager. If you're not at the decision-making role, at least you can influence and suggest that these are the primary goals of a product and how they can be leveraged to increase the company's revenue or your project revenue goals as well, which increases the thought leadership venues in you and also increases the chances of promotion and collateral efforts. Sorry, I'm not sure the camera was turned off. Sorry. Yeah. While we have completed this slide, let me quickly check in the chat. Apart from Q&A sessions, I see a lot of questions in the chat. We have answered the polymer, the mechanical engineer. Do we get e-certificate for this?
No, we don't provide e-certificate for this session. Sagar, let me just help you with the question answers. So Deepak Joshi is asking that he has joined the session late. Yes, we'll share the recording with you, Deepak. Dheeraj Kumar is asking that he is a business analyst, MBA, and can he do project management, product management, and how will he be able to understand technical parts like net, Java, etc., which is used at in my present product?
Correct. Thank you. Yes. So answering business analysts are the best aspirants of product management, to be honest, because you have witnessed the initial part of the product management role, that is understanding the product requirement and what niche, if improvised successfully for a set of stakeholders and also for geography, it will help you to shape the product effectively. At an associate product manager role, let's take an example. You are a business analyst, and after this course, you have taken up a role of an associate project manager in real world, where you are driving the decision influence. I'm specifically using the word influence. So you're influencing the decisions that will drive the features priority and also the feature development. In that way, it will make more sense for a business analyst to promote himself or herself into a product manager's shoes. That is bypassing the project management and directly getting into the product management role. And in real world, it happens. Fortune 500 companies are more keen from an analyst level, from SME level, from a data analyst level. Product managers are upgrown in the firms itself. And those are more and much beneficial for stakeholders like business analysts and data analysts. In terms of getting the .NET and Java expertise, I'll say that when you get engulfed or engrossed with the product, even that is the feedback that I've taken from my stakeholders. Being a product person, we love a lot to talk about our products and love to explore it at the most in-depth technical details. But not to flow is a control, a communication control, a technical control that we should have. You should be cautious about the layout of a product, a technical layout, a network layout, a design layout, an improvised layout, and a technical aspect of it. It's well understood. But if you are a Java expert, you may end up debating technically with a developer who is deployed to develop a project, which may not make sense. You have to wear the hat of the product manager while managing the stakeholders. You should have the basic details of it, along with your product manager or technical program manager, you should be able to time box the activity in much better way and efficient way. So if I'm a product manager, I'll be bothered about getting to know the basic details of my product methodology, technology, and also base development as aesthetics like Kubernetes or AWS or Azure's whatsoever we'll be using. Jagannath's question was, can you give me a clear vision on demand as product manager in automobile industry? There are thousands and thousands of product in automobile industries, thousands and thousands of product. Right from the designing till the deployment, a product manager's expertise is needed through. It may not have been tagged previously as a product owner, but now in coming days, even if you see industry leaders like Woot, Bosch, etc., have created exponential openings and venues for the product managers in the automobile industry. And they are being into a great demand with the area of expertise, the line of business, the assembly lines. You talk about the Ford robotic processes, where the assembly line is completely humanless, manufactured by robotic arms. There are more than 400 product managers who are employed or deployed to design a specific robotic arm. Think of the extent, think of the vastness of the requirement that a product manager's requirement is there in the industry, but it comes with the specific set of experience requirement. If you have the knowledge of automobile industry or the assembly line, then there is a high propensity where you will be deployed. If not, basis your area, even the tire manufacturing companies have recently came up with the product notch approach. Even for the launch of a product manager is thought through by the individual firms and also the product line owners. Don't know about technical language which you are talking about. Well, Anil, that's fine. There was a question from one of the participants, Java or .NET sort of languages, where should one learn? While this course won't teach you Java, this course won't make you great on .NET skills, etc., or your any other language for that matter. It will talk about when and what to use at which specific time, a templatized, disciplined version, so that you are able to deploy the product specifically and also in a less risk pattern. Okay. Now, for all those who have questions at the initial level that I'm intern and or I'm a new to this market, or I am into a quality aspect or from a different domain, now I want to enter into product management. Is that good time for me? Well, for coming few years, getting into product management is as easy as it was during the initial phase of the projects. The saturation will take some time to come, but it's of great cognizance, and even the interview panelists will scrutinize you at a level. What are your thought leaderships upon? What are your visions in terms of a war room like situation? What are your thinking in terms of the market stability? Or what are your thoughts on pricing strategies? All of these aspects, when are learned by and from an individual, by an interviewee or interviewee panel, when we do the interviews, we check it the similar way. It can get a disciplined approach from this particular course, but the way you're designing or answering pattern should be, it will influence or it will be influenced basis what knowledge you carry from a specific domain or for a specific product line, like an app or ERP, or it can be a physical product, or it can be a consultative service product as well. Okay. Now, I'll take the last question from the chat and move to the next slide, and we will take the another set of questions after this discussion. I'm an entrepreneur in baking industry. I want to know how to develop our product in a way that will attract to people what are the important points I have to take in priority. Well, Priyanka, thanks for asking the question. While the question in itself is in need of creating a product, I understand that it's a baking product. If that's not the banking, it's the baking product, and there can be multiple ways. You have the product, you know about your product. Now it's more to refine it, the way you will start the mass production, in which area, which segment of sector, how the expansion plan should be. Do you want to prefer a public model, or do you want to prefer with a partnership model, or do you want to develop your own franchisee? There can be different models that can be thought through and analyzed. And when you get enrolled to the course like this, and when you're trying to create the product from the day one itself, you have to have that pattern, because what you're learning, if you keep it to yourself just for the examination clarification standpoint or passing standpoint, then it may not make sense. See, we were the batch of 100 folks. Not everyone created a product. I'll be honest. There were few folks who got the product reviewed. People like me who had the product came to this course. We tried to introspect and also ask the experts that where am I, where is a room to get into a better product aspect. With the mentors at the place who were mapped according to our product requirement and expertise, we're able to give in the insights like, you know what, don't do it this way, do it that way. It will make more sense. Do you want to connect to specific teams? Do you want to get more feedback? And introspection within your team or a batchmate, learning batchmate, when it happens, it's more progressive, and which is backed up by the mentors, which is more effective. So progressive and effective way, both way you will shape the product, and then is when you should decide which strategy suits you. Validate that up with the product itself. I recommend anyone who is going for the product management certification, day one itself, even before you are starting with the session, think of a product, a layman product. Let that be a trial base, and think of the real-time deployment and feasibility. By the end of the course, I can bet you can come up with the product ideation, at least which product should be launched, how it can be beneficial to your customers, to yourself as well. Basis that you can refine it and for the future. Yeah. Okay. Sure, Rahul, no worries with that. What is the duration of this course? The duration of this course is 6 months, which is spread across the 3 trimesters. And each trimester, there will be a progressive session, a course strategy that will start from the initiation, that is ideation stage, till the deployment of the market stabilization phase. Perfect. Let's move to the next slide then. Enabling the existing resources. Now, when we think of any resource, this is not just the resource which we talk about, human as a resource, technology as a resource. There are various strategies. Now, in this course, there are different aspects. Understanding Agile, principles of Agile, also Kanban, some part of Jira's, tools like Jira's, and also exploring some part of the Arduino boards, like which are leveraged mostly into the robotic process. We have learned them through, we have gone them through, even the patenting, producting, how we can protect the IPs of a product is also taught through. We got to learn a lot of aspects. Not everyone will need to patent the product, but yes, if the idea is unique, then definitely one should go for it. One should go for the deeper consultation. But the basic level of information, what are the aesthetics of the IP management, how to ring fence them out, and what are the laws and segregation specifically in India and abroad, which are taking care of this, will be enlightened. Now, balancing your product and people management is the methodology driven approach, which is taught through in entire duration of the course. It can be applied to the large set of products and also for the small set of products as well. There won't be any distinguish as such, because this is a templatized version. The extent of an agile when used for a great products, a large ERP products with multi-million-dollar aspect, the extent of agile will go deeper and deeper. But if you are into, the best example is the baking product, if you are at the assembly line manufacturing, then the use of agile will be lesser, more of a assembly line will be higher, like Kanbans will be lot. Understanding the aspect of this product methodologies, technologies, and what to leverage when will be focused in this particular course a lot, which will help you to foster a culture of innovation. How we can onboard new methodologies, how we can onboard new technologies, how we can think of integrating our software product with different third-party versions. What are the possibilities? How to evaluate the risk, etc. That is much feasible. How to optimize the use of existing tools and technologies. It can be your technical tools, it can be your progression tools and product tools as well, will be given a throughout understanding, and develop within you a deep understanding of what are the skill sets that you as a team you're carrying. It can be your software skills, it can be your product furnishing skills, or it can be your marketing skills that will shape you to stand out in the geography that your products are getting marketed into at a different level of skills and strengths. Okay, we'll move to the next slide now. The most important aspect and the most interesting aspect, championing the product leadership. Well, we have seen that there are a lot of questions. Each product manager will ask that, what if I get into the role of product manager? What if I don't have a technical expertise? Will I survive? Well, to be honest, the answer is, if your product is a technology-driven product, you need to have the information. You need to know what the technology you are building it upon. You need to have the aspects and details and possibilities of the product features. And if you want to decide on the product features, you need to have the technical aspects of it. That doesn't mean that you have to be a coder, you have to be an efficient quality tester. No, you should understand the basic requirements of it, how the building block works. Similar to building blocks, you should have an information about, if you're thinking about Java, if you're thinking about .NET, if you're thinking about different other databases, query languages, or even the automated languages. These days, there is a lot of automations which are coming through. Like, you may need a solution with a bot, without a bot, with the auditors, without auditors, functions like ChatGPT, functions like Python-based chatbots, etc., which are being leveraged extensively. And the processes which were early offline, even the insurers, the large federal insurers who were not online then, are today online. They have to register the claim via your website, your app, and that's the need of the hour. This is one of the best examples. Creating a vision of your product and motivating your team with that vision is must and more necessary. Yeah. Surely. Thank you, Ishpal. You will get the recording. And with this, we should be able to communicate as a product manager of what we are planning to drive in terms of features, and features are then related to the goals and outcomes of the company. And getting the app level of industry expertise, deploying the data studies and analytics at right point in time, which can now embed it into the 5I BYOP framework sort of structure. Further, leveraging this feedback, whatever we have received from the customers, from the market, from the data analysts or the data aggregators or the surveys that we do, to ensure that we are tracking that out, sequencing or ordering them, and prioritizing what features needs to be embedded into the tool. creating a vision for our product and motivating our team to achieve that outcome is more important and mandate for a product manager. With that, I'll arrest the conversation and open the room for any questions if we have, even before we go to the certification layout. So, Afia, are you okay if I take this slide through, or do you want to take the slide?
I prefer you taking it through, Sagar, because you have had a first-hand experience of the course.
Yeah, absolutely. So while we always commit this duration of the course is for 6 months, wherein each segment is divided into a trimester pattern. There are 3 semesters, which happens after every 2 months and which are in a structured format. All the courses are delivered into the live session format, the way we are talking, and the sessions are driven in the 4 hours pattern mostly. And there are a lot of learning management videos and PPTs, those are expected. So I, as a student, I would recommend you when you're enrolling, it's a best practice to go through the course layout once. Once you go through the course layout, try to go from the all PPTs of LMS session. What is the topic all about? Are there any new keywords that you are not able to understand? Trying to learn them first and attending the session with a prepared mentality. And the most important aspect, when you go through the content of the course, you have to lay over that content with your product. If you don't have a product, just imagine a product. Create an imaginary product and try to lay over that. And try to use and validate that BYOPs bring your own product. So that product should be leveraged at each stage, right from ideation till deployment. May that be a silly idea. In our batch, we had a product which was collating the garbage from the seashore area and how it can be processed and furnished to a great product. The idea is valid, and that particular product owner is now fetching for the investors, and there are progressive discussions which are happening. You may see that product in the next 6 months or 1 year if the deals go through well. Enrolling in the program, it will also enable you or ask you to adhere to the 5 why framework. Create your own product. Think of the product that best you have been thinking through. What if you are a working employee, you don't want to get into the startup mode? That's fine. You have a product in which you can apply for. What if there's an IGP coming for a product? Think of that. What are the best ERPs which are used in your organization? Can you master them? If you master them, or if you think of a enhancement strategy for those products, there is a great probability that in your firm itself, you can get an IGP from an analyst to a product manager level, or from a quality to product manager level, or associate product manager, at least with the knowledge that you will get from this course. With BYOP, that is bring your own product, you get a flexibility to think of any valid idea. And that idea, there can be multiple ideas, and your mentors can help you to brush up those ideas, that which one to select, which is making more sense. What is the geography that you're thinking through? What is the pattern that you're planning to deploy? What is your background and the level of technical capabilities that you're coming from in terms of coding, in terms of physical aspect, in terms of marketing, or in terms of quality analysis, will be thought through and given a detail even before you launch that into the market, or even in roll out into the BYOP program. Understanding the life cycle of this particular deployment, how to think of a product, how to plan a product, how to design it, develop it, and then market it out. This entire life cycle is something that you will learn from this course. The best part is when you get the like-minded people. Imagine a room of 50 full product managers who are meeting every week for 8 hours to 10 hours, then brainstorming that how the product idea can be more rebrushed, reviewed, and also bettered out. You as a class in itself is a great investment then. And then when it mixes with the mentors and the collaborators and the session leaders, it makes a great catalyst outcome. And that's what will make you the first level product manager who can deliver a product which will make sense to the market, to your customers, and also to your organization. Well, with that, I'll take a pause and see if there are any questions, and Afia, if there is anything that you would want me to take care of.
There's a lot of questions, Sagar, around, freshers and engineering grads who want to join this course. While sorry to tell you guys that this course is only for people with minimum 2 years of work experience. So maybe 2 years later, we can enroll you for the course.
Yeah,
there's one question which came from an anonymous attendee, Sagar, who asks how to take care of both product and people management when team size is large and have different thought process.
Wonderful question. Thank you, Mr. or Miss Anonymous. So when we talk about the 5I framework, starting from ideation to excellence, even, it's not limited to the development of the product itself, but it will also be catering to the communication need and people management aspect of it. Morely and largely, it will be you as a product manager or to be product manager who will have to understand the personas. When we talk about personas, and we will explore this in the course, in the course, when I try to design a persona for my immediate boss, who is my customer, who is my greatest customer, I was surprised to see how many elements of his attitude or working culture is influenced by me. And if I improvise certain aspect, how definitely I can change the aspect or the way we communicate with each other. Things like this will help you to shape your people management much better. In real world, when you are thinking of a product, you have to think of the features which are more relevant to your customers. If it's making sense to the customer, it will make sense to your profitability, your revenue goal, your marketing goals. That's what you will explain to your marketing team, your immediate bosses, your sponsors, your quality team, or developers. What are the goals that you're aligning your team towards? Once you are able to communicate these goals, relate the features, and think of a product planning, it will be vast 360-degree different view than if you think of just doing a plain simple deployment. And there needs to be a thought leadership in it, a vision. A vision is to be discussed even with a developer, a development manager, a VP of a development, and also to the project sponsor. It's not limited to certain managers level only, not leadership level only. Your expert or SME, subject matter expert, who is drafting the technical design document or a business requirement document, should understand which aspect, which segment of a product to be explored and enhancedly written down in order to meet the objective. What if that is lacking? Don't you feel that will impact the product delivery? Definitely it will. That's why it's important to learn and also deploy the communication strategies, the product strategies, etc. when we are going through this sort of arrangement and requirement. I hope this answers. Okay, I've answered for BYOP, that's bring your own product. And for freshers, Afia ma'am have already answered for Sentu. So maybe you can work for 2 years or get an experience, or you can try to get an intern experience and then try to join this course. Definitely you should be admitted to. Even before you get admission to this course, we had to go through 2 rounds of interview. I had been interviewed initially where my experience was asked, my deployments, my project experience was reviewed. And later I was empaneled with one of the IIM Indore's panelists, and ma'am took my interview. It went for a good 35 to 45 minutes, to be honest. I was expecting it for 30 minutes, and they drilled down to the level. And there was a question that you are an experienced stakeholder for 12 years. Then a year ago, it was like 12 and a half years I used to quote my experience. And that's where the discussion, the pictures came into mind. And it was not just a typical classroom like scenario. It was an open classroom for me, where world is my class, and anything and everything that was a product for me now, because the mentality was changed. And that really shapes and helps you to understand and explore your inner potentials into the product management segment. And with the 5i framework, and I'm endorse great experienced faculties, combining both of this, it makes a great business oriented strategist who is developing a product, which is a person, or who is a person who can get into any product role and also design it out. That's the level of expertise that most of you should be expecting from this course. Yeah, with that, yeah, I guess that we have met the timeline, and most of the questions are answered. So yeah, over to you, Afia ma'am.
So guys, if you have any more questions, please feel free to add into the Q&A section or the chat section. We'll pick it up. If not, we'll wrap the session today.
See, 2 hands are raised, Smriti and Kishore. Is it fine if you want to put it in chat? And for all those who are leaving the session, I thank you for your patience and attending the session. It was wonderful having pleasant attendees like you. And I wish that I see you in the alumni forum of I'm Indore and product management, and we chatting there. All the best.
Thank you so much, Sagar. Thank you so much for your time, for this extremely engaging and informative session. It was great to have you. Thank everybody for joining us this evening. Have a great evening ahead.
Thank you. Bye-bye.